Who wants the baby? Who don't?
The mom doesn't want the
The
baby.
woman doesn't want the baby.
Yes, the man
but
wants the
husband doesn't
baby.
mind. To dwell on the things that we can't control. Focus on what you can control, right?
I'm
Have a
going to
choice.
disagree. Yeah, I think we
Okay.
do. I feel like women need to these days begin to stand 10 toes on
No,
business.
but if you choose to follow your career and do your abortion, I can never tell you to do an abortion. It's your choice. It's your body, your choice, right? Yeah.
So it's like, I want to make my partner happy. I'm in love. But at the same time, you want to also achieve things in life.
Yeah.
Plan yourself in such a way that you don't lose yourself in the marriage and then you don't have goals. Because once you start to lose yourself in that marriage or in that situation, there's no fulfillment at the end of the day.
This is Real Dilemma Podcast with Regina and Dorcas.
Hey guys, this is Real Dilemmas Podcast. My name is Dorcas.
And I'm Regina.
Right. So this segment, we're just going to address like this dilemma that we have. It's from Wives and Mothers. So I'm just going to read it and then we'll talk about it. Yeah?
Okay.
So good evening. Please help me post. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm 29, married for 4 years. I live abroad and I have 2 boys, 3 years old and 19 months. Something just clicked. Are you sure it's not that camera? I click. They're all recording.
You cut it on.
Yeah, okay. So I'm 29, married for 4 years. I live abroad and I have 2 boys, 3 years and 19 months. My husband is really hands-on, but he's the sole provider.
Oh.
I just do little online jobs, mainly coaching and helping US students complete their degree to get some money.
Okay.
I am now 9 weeks pregnant with my 3rd. I really wish to have a girl child, but deep down, I really don't want the baby. I just think it's time to achieve my dreams and ambitions. It's been 3 years after medical school, and I am my last exam away from working in the country where we live.
Okay.
But I really want to leave the US, meaning I need to sit for 3 exams. Don't blame me. The pay is better. I almost called. This is the abortion one. I almost called the abortion clinic over the weekend. My husband feels it's his decision. He already knows I won't be happy if I don't work and complete these exams in the coming years. He said he has chosen peace of mind and would rather live happily with me. But that if I decide to keep the baby, he will be really hands-on. So the husband is basically saying...
Wait, so who wants the baby, who don't?
The mom doesn't want the baby.
The woman doesn't want the baby.
Yes, the man wants the baby. Yeah, and the man is also saying, I will be really hands-on. Promising her that he will be really hands-on. My sister thinks I should be happy. I get to have my last child before I turn 30. So she's 29.
Yeah, she's 29.
Yeah. Will I be selfish to abort this baby? Are there moms who have gone through similar situations? I really appreciate an urgent response, as I have only 2 weeks to go through with this.
Wow.
I think this is pretty straightforward.
What do you mean?
If the husband is saying he'll be hands-on, then you might as well keep the baby.
But she doesn't. Guys, I'm not saying she shouldn't, okay? Let's get that straight. But she doesn't want to keep the baby because of her goals and what she wants to achieve.
Ambitions, yeah.
She spent time going to medical school or something. And
yes,
she
did.
3 exams before she passes.
Yeah, to practice in the country where they live.
This is a tough one, you know.
You know what? Let's deviate from the abortion topic, right? And she wanting to keep the baby or not. But you know how as moms we go through this phase of having kids, and then after having kids you start to feel like you need to feel like yourself again.
Yeah,
you need to start doing things, having ambitions for yourself, goals and stuff, just to get yourself back in the groove of things. Especially for people who worked before having kids. So would you say now that at what point should the woman decide to start going after her goals? Do you think she should do that after 2, or do you think for someone who wants a 3rd, should she go for the 3rd and then bear in mind that she's almost 30?
In my opinion, My thing is, I can only advise on what I would do.
Okay.
So what I would do is, it's funny because what I would do is not what I thought I would do.
Mm-hmm.
What I would do now is based off being in marriage and going through the process, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would advise you do what you got to do in terms of children, especially because you're 29.
Mm-hmm.
You're still quite young, really, because you've got, by God's grace, you've got like a long years to live, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have all your kids, possibly by 35, you've had all your children, or the third, because there's one more she wants to have, right?
Yes.
Have that, dedicate that time for that. As long as you can get your degree, if you can hang in there and get your degree, even being pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
and get that sorted.
But it's tough.
Yeah, it is tough, but it's achievable. That's what I feel. I don't know how because some people, because of how the pregnancy goes, some people have difficult pregnancies, so that could be a factor. But in my case, thankfully, thank God, my pregnancies were quite smooth. So it's a thing where I would push,
Even with
being
pregnant.
get my degree, have that secured, and then focus on having the kids. Then I can start afresh, entry level into medicine and stuff. It is quite hard, but it is part of the sacrifice that you have to make.
Yes.
Being a woman, being a wife, being a mother, it's just inevitable. That's why when I see people kicking against the whole, everyone has opinions, everyone has a choice. If you want to be a career woman, do it and do it well. But if you want to have your children, you can't. I know some people say you can have it all, but sometimes it's really hard to mix both.
I just wonder sometimes why the burden is on us as women.
That's just the
You need to tie a good, say you want to have 2-3 kids.
Order.
You need to tie a good 10 years, at least 10 years of your life raising kids before you start chasing your dreams.
Yeah.
See how long it took us now, for instance. Let's take it back to us.
We're still in it.
We're still in it. So even with this podcast, we're shooting at a very odd hour.
Yeah.
Because we know this is the only available time for us to shoot because we have kids.
Yeah.
So why is it always on? But for men, it's somewhat easier.
Girl, it's the order of things. That's just how the world works, right?
It's so sad.
It is sad, but I feel like as women, we need to start understanding that that's just the way it is. And then we then need to figure out how. It's annoying, it's hard, but we don't have a choice.
I think we do. I'm
Have
going
a
to
choice.
disagree. Yeah, I think we
Okay.
do. I feel like women need to, these days, begin to stand 10 toes on business.
No, but what are the
If you
choices
want
that we
to,
have?
the chances that you have, you can decide that I want just one kid and tie 5 years of your life down.
Yeah,
1
but
year
it's
being
still- it's
pregnant,
still-
another 4 years.
It's still going back to us not the thing. What I'm trying to say about choices, you can't mix both unless you're a superwoman.
No. You can't necessarily mix both. But
Yes.
in her case, for instance, her husband is saying have the third baby,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm saying, yes, that's the compromise. Meet halfway. I want one. I want two. I'm not having a third baby. We're not going a third round.
Yeah. So why didn't she prevent having a third baby?
Both of them.
Why didn't
Both of them.
The reason I say she is because it's the onus falls on you as a woman to protect yourself.
That's the sad
Fair
part.
enough, but that's life. That's what I'm saying, that we need to understand that that's life. Once we can come to a point of understanding that that's life, we won't be dilly-dallying.
Sometimes
we'll be getting
life-
things done.
It's,
Do you get what I
sometimes
mean?
it's easy to say that's life, but life is not all the time straightforward.
It
Do you understand
isn't.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can say, yeah, that's life, but you love this person, you want to compromise, you want to make your family happy, you want him to be happy.
Yeah.
Sometimes we make sacrifices because we know it will make our partner happy. Do you
Yeah,
get?
yeah.
So it's like, I want to make my partner happy, I'm in love. But at the same time, you want to also achieve things in life.
Yes.
It's just not fair to women most times.
Yeah, but life is not fair. We already know that.
It's so sad.
So she needs to find a balance. If she's going to have the third child, let her focus on that. Your career, see, one thing I've realized is you can always start over. Regardless of how long you've taken in this life, you can start over. If you choose to have that child, have the child. Spend whatever amount of time you need to spend with the child and raising the child. And then go 40. When you're 40, you can start over. 50, you can start over.
Yeah, you can start
You know?
over at any age, but most times it's easier to start over at a younger age.
Yeah, but it doesn't always work out like that. We
The-
don't always like.
The workforce doesn't really favor people in their 50s.
It
Imagine
doesn't.
you wanting
Then
to
maybe
be
you
a
need to
content
look-
creator
Maybe you need
in
to
your
look at-
50s.
They're there.
I'm not saying they are
at
not there.
TikTok. Everybody's
It's
on
just
there.
they are, but the number is not as much as people who are younger.
It's not.
So you have so many things fighting against you. One, your age is fighting against you. Your looks fighting against you. What else?
It is.
Different things. The way you assimilate information.
It is.
You're not tech savvy. So many things are
And
already
that's
working
why
against
you.
you.
Find people going the extra mile to be in the space where they want to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be in that space. Do you get what I mean? So if you have to, as a woman, it's just unfortunate. It is what it is. You know,
it is.
You just have to. I just don't want people to dwell on the things that we can't control. Focus on what you can control, right? So if you choose to have the child in your own control, have the child. But if you choose to follow your career and do your abortion, I can never tell you to do an abortion. It's your choice. It's your body, your choice, right? Make the best decision that you feel is for you. I don't even think anyone should be advising her on this.
I think it's just between her and what she
How
believes is
you
right.
feel, your marriage, the whole thing. Is you need to weigh out your pros and cons. Is it going to affect your marriage? Is it going to affect the man, your husband? Is it going to affect you as a woman? Because a lot of people, they want to do these things like abortion, but it has a lot of effect on them.
It does.
A lot of trauma, even after you do it, and then you realize that it's not great. You know what I mean? So
some people, based off their faith, do it and then start to feel really bad. It starts to affect them. They start to walk around with a heavy conscience. So at the end of the day, just do what works for. Maybe write out the pros and cons and do what works best for you and your family.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's the best advice we can really give. We are not professionals, so we can't really advise you. And I believe that everyone knows what they want to do when they put out scenarios like this. So I always just say, go with what your heart wants to do. If it's to have the abortion, that's between you and your conscience.
Yeah, and before, when I was reading it, when I got halfway into it, I was like, oh, it's the abortion one, because abortion is a very sensitive topic.
Yes.
Now, based off our faith and our beliefs, it's frowned upon.
Yes.
It's not God's will. It's against our faith.
Yeah.
So it's a very sensitive topic for us to even be advising in the first place. But just do what works best for you and your family. But I also want to talk about ambition and chasing your dreams and your career as a woman who is raising kids. This is just my own advice to women who are raising kids and are married. Remember that time is going. I know that, you said you can do it in your 50s. I know that.
Jeez, are you one of those ones that?
I know, no, really, I know that you can do whatever you want to do in your 50s and your 60s. But if you have the opportunity to do it while you're young.
Make hay where the sun shines.
Exactly.
Right?
Stop. There are a lot of people who are having kids when they shouldn't be having kids. You don't have the means to have kids. You don't have the means to raise kids. You want to chase your dreams and your ambitions, and then you're having kids when you're not supposed to. So I feel like, plan yourself in such a way that you don't lose yourself in the marriage and then you don't have goals, because once you start to lose yourself in that marriage or in that situation, there's no fulfillment at the end of the day. You find that you are very dependent on your spouse. You're overstimulated, that you're even causing more. There's no peace in the home. Unconsciously, do you notice that when you're overstimulated, you have unnecessary fights, outbursts?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And sometimes it's because you don't have that business you go to. You don't have that office you go to just. So when when your husband comes back from work and you've been in the house all day, you're just going and going.
What you're in essence, what you're trying to say is, as women, we need to have your own
outside of your marriage. Thank you very much. In a nutshell.
So if you're Rachel, be Rachel. Find Rachel. And like you said, it's so easy to lose yourself after having kids, being married. It's so easy. I've been there. You've been there. I'm sure. I've been there. It's literally taking me 8 years to sort of come to a point where I'm like, okay, Regina, you need to put Regina first.
Have I? No, not necessarily, but I think,
Me, I say 8 years because my first child is 8 years old, and I'm thinking it's now that I'm really trying to say, okay, what do I want? what do I want to do? This
in that
podcast
sense, yes,
is one of the things I've always wanted to do. Social media, being in this space, right? Regardless of the numbers, regardless of what we're doing, of what how we're doing with numbers, this is something I've always had in mind that I wanted to do something
Passion.
on the space, right?
Passion, yeah.
Passion. So for me, it's taking me this long to say, okay, I need to now, as busy as my life is, I need to figure out a way to include this into it, because I don't want to keep putting it at the back burner and like, okay, whenever I'm ready, whenever you never be ready.
And you know that most times when it is something you have passion for, it's easy for you to make time for it. You don't get tired of it, even if it's not growing, even if the numbers are not growing, because it's something you have passion for.
Yeah.
You're able to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So just as women, just find out what your passion is and then try to do that thing you have. Don't just, sometimes, the money is good, but also do something that you have a passion for, because it's easy for you to keep going even when the pay is not great.
And
exactly.
Things don't always kick off in the first instance. So yeah, it's very good advice. Find a passion, follow it through. And another thing I would say is, aside passion or business, just let's just do us as women this year. And like, I wanted to put it out there to all the ladies out there that support the Real Dilemmas podcast, right? Let's just live a purpose life, a purpose driven life, a life of happiness and joy and peace. Do you get what I mean? Like,
do things that bring you happy.
Exactly. Like,
so long as you're not hurting the next person, do
like,
things that make you happy.
Things that make you happy.
Yeah.
You know.
On that note, we're gonna end this part right now. Yeah.
This is just a quick episode. It's not like our full normal full episodes, but we just thought to have a quick chit chat about this. But guys,
it'll be nice to get your comments as always down in the comment boxes below. So we'll see you guys in our next one. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in our next one. Love
always.
Bye.
Mwah.